All right, I think you should hear me now. There we go. Yeah, there was no little indicator moving up and down, so hopefully that's correct now. Um, Unfortunately for you guys, though, I think an ad's gonna run after this because I'm now affiliate. Hooray! Let me see if I can run this manually. Let's see. Oh, guess you guys are in ads. Although Satora, I guess if you're there, since you're subbed, you don't actually get an ad, right? So you get to stare at me. Although I did add this new face cam thing here, and it's actually in HD now. So like it actually takes up the whole screen now. I think I had it set to something lower before, so it didn't actually do that. It was like a smaller box. But now it's 1080p. So when I switch the game, it's gonna be 1080p now. So cool, man. All right, cool. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sitting through that ad if you did. So I'm Juzzy. We're gonna be doing a sit down and shut up. It's a code live coaching session. Working with Grit today. So Grit is a 1600 MR Juri player. They are currently, like I said, 1600. They said they're running into issues with decision making with punishes. I played them before and they're actually really good. So we'll bring them on and ask a couple of questions, see what they're looking to do here. So let me just bring them on. Hey, Grit, can you hear me? Cool. So one sec here. All right, cool, man. So I know we had talked about doing this before. So when you're in the message you'd put in, you were kind of looking at like whiff punishing and decision making, right? Like in the corner. Are there anything
Yeah,
specific
I
or?
think currently those are those things that I need kind of help with.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is I do need to approve in like a lot of the other stuff as well, but those are just like me needing to lab. Most like my anti-airs need to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And my just character matchup knowledge needs to get better, but like those two in particular feel like I think I may need more help
Okay.
from
Okay.
like other people's perspectives.
Sure. So we'll run a first to three. So just for the YouTube video, in case anyone picks that up,
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a first to three. I'll invite you to custom room. We'll run it, and then we'll go into a replay review. So we'll take a look at one or two
Mhm.
games. We'll see if there's anything that stood out or something that I want to kind of point out, or anything talking about the specific things that you ran into.
Yeah.
We'll do replay review there, and then maybe a little lab work depending on
Mhm.
if there's anything we need to deep dive into, and then we'll just run another
Yeah.
first three after, see if there's any adjustments that if those help or not. Cool, man. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I see you queued up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deafen in Discord while we're running the first
Mhm.
three because I tend to talk a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
during these and all that. So I may not rain
yeah.
match right away either, as I'm kind of articulating thoughts and whatnot. So don't worry, I'm still there.
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, okay, okay,
all right,
okay.
cool, man. So I'm gonna deafen. Good luck.
Okay, look.
So Grit is a really good jury player, and I think Stream Elements might be set to kind of an aggressive chat, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Yeah, I mean Grit's been good. I think they're EU based, and I played them before. Again, really good jury player. They have really strong like pressure with jury. Ooh, a little bit of a rollback, that's okay. Nice. Ooh. Okay, so it's seeing a little bit of that decision making there. They were dealing with a lot of corner pressure and didn't quite make a defensive decision at any point. That might be something we can look at, see what we can do for that. Oh, pressing after the Fuha. Nice TP. Oh. Oh. Oh, they weren't expecting me to. Okay, so like I said, decision making in the corner might be why they lost. And a little bit of rollback too, but that's whatever. A couple of neutral situations where maybe the confirm wasn't quite there. But I think the way I won this one was mostly around the corner pressure, right? Defensive decision making there kind of being where he was kind of falling apart. So, okay, caught walking back. DP again. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So like I kind of told people, if you're going to reversal, do it a little bit earlier than that. I think it was the right, not necessarily the wrong decision to make there because you're going to die. But counter hit. Goes for parry there. So that time there was a tech, and I don't know if that might have been a little bit rollback related, but there was a tech that happened when I wasn't quite close enough for a throw, so I was moving in. My guess is that's why they tech there, but that can be kind of tough in that situation, to tech in a situation. Again, tech when the throw is not a threat, because it's pretty easy to react to the throw, right? So my guess, what I'm seeing here, they're really passive on plus frames. They don't really challenge, which is fine, I guess. But you can always try to blow up plus frames, right? They don't really do that. Ooh. Oh, one too many dashes. Nice. Uh-oh. Oh, that was nice. Oh, the burnout. Ooh, and again, like, went for a kind of a aggressive option there at the end. Oh, that's air. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I can't press there, huh? Oh, I could have could have reacted. Old man reactions. Oof. Even if I had supered there or like maybe did like a cancel no Tatsu, I may not still may not win that round. teching now. I could have teched. So I probably could have spent a little bit more there, but I did want to put them in the corner. Oh, that caught me. Oh, that was not a drive reversal. Oh, that's an unfortunate jump. Okay, one sec, guys. So yeah, I think the main issue is around some of the corner decision making, like being a little passive on defense. Let me bring them back in here. Hey, Grit, what do you think?
Um, that was supposed to be a light store, not a level 3.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks.
Because like that was supposed to be a frame trap.
Uh-huh.
But if you try to jab or anything unsafe and like the light star wouldn't come out. But I may fucked up and did a shortcut by accident and did level 3.
Yeah, and then that's what came
Also,
out. Yeah.
I expected you in the end to do a fireball. That's why I wanted to jump and do dive kick, like a reaction dive kick to maybe rob you, but unlucky.
Yeah, and I think there were some situations where there was a tech that happened, and I'm guessing there might have been a little bit of rollback that made it look like I was moving forward, something like that. And it's just how it is because we're obviously cross continents and all that, so it is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we can take a look at some of the situations that I think are gonna be what you are interested in, mostly around I think corner defense, what you can do in some of those situations. See if there's anything we can kind of dissect on the offense that
Yeah.
I'm running that might help, because I feel like when we were playing, you're pretty passive on defense, at least for the first one or two games, right? I think like halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way through the second game, you started doing a little more reversals, a little more other options there, and we'll see if how that adjustment did it. So anyway, let's take a look at a couple of replays, and then we can take a look at that. Let me share my screen in Discord here. One sec. All right, so I'm streaming in Discord, so you should be able to see it. Let me know if you can't.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can see it.
Great. So we'll take this one, and I think this one. All right. So let's take a look at the replays and let's see if we can find what might have been happening during that during the game. Alright, so good old yeah, so parrying jump-ins I think is mostly okay in perfect parry. What makes it tough is that even though you were correct here, sometimes it's difficult to get a punish or anything, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I mean, it's better than getting hit for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
The problem is like people get onto it and then they neutral jump throw me.
Yeah.
Then I have to. I think the problem is like I got a, let's say, addiction when it comes to perfect pairing in the past few months. The problem is like, for example, in that situation, I thought of throwing you, but I thought you were going to be too far away for me to throw you. That's why I did medium punch, because like then I can at least keep the pressure on.
Yeah, yeah. At least I'll have to block, right? Because I know that I can't really do anything. Like my option in that situation is like I can delay tech or just block, really, right? I could also try to jump potentially, like if I think you're gonna immediate throw, like one of those options. And medium button would beat all of those basically, right? Like you'd probably recover enough in time to be able to anti-air me, right? So but
yeah, that's why I did the. Huh?
Yeah,
that's why I did the heavy button because like if you try to jump there, in a situation, that's not a true block string, nor is it a link. It's only links a punish counter. That's why I did it. That's why I did the heavy button because like I'm still safe he cannot punish me. In the worst possible situation, I think we trade, and if you try to jump, I get a counter,
Hmm.
and I can drive rush in and corner carry you.
Yeah. It's like right here. I think you might have been able to go for a throw, maybe.
Yeah, I think we were close enough.
Maybe it would have been like I wouldn't have if you had whiffed a throw there. I wouldn't have faulted you for it, right? So I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's why I think like just straight up anti-airing is generally better, right? Unless you're like a
yeah,
grappler like Manon or somebody that kind of gets a big reward for that type of thing, right? Where you can get a medal
yeah,
potentially, right? And that's a huge for her. But Juri has a good DP, right? So that's
yeah.
just
The
drills, I
problem.
think, and being used to it. I tried jumping initially just to see what would happen, and you
Ah,
went for the parry,
okay.
and I was like, okay, all right, so we'll see where we're going with the rest of it. But yeah, I think generally speaking, if you can anti-air with like a DP, do that, or like what is it, the crouching heavy punch? I think the one where
Catch
Jury,
care punch, yeah.
yeah, both of those would be good. Again, parry's totally fine. I think like you didn't lose anything here, right? You learned perfect parry and some
Yeah.
pressure, right? But it could have been a knockdown into Jury drive rush into pressure, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, yeah,
on that, right, that's like bread and butter for Jury, right? So,
yeah,
so going to Fuha here, which is good. I try to take my turn back with a jab. Nothing happens, right?
yeah.
All right, get caught walking back, no big deal. All right, nice DI. Unfortunately, didn't get
Okay,
the
that
cancel.
was okay. That was supposed to be a heavy release. I
Okay,
think I fucked up my inputs and I
okay,
didn't get the down.
the down, yeah,
I think I SOCD cleaned my down. Okay, so this may sound really weird. I tell everyone that I play with two fingers on my attack buttons on my
okay,
hitbox,
okay,
and for all normals I only use two fingers.
okay,
And for my when it comes to my moving buttons, I actually hold all of them every single time,
oh,
and I then release the one I need to use
gotcha,
for it to
okay,
be used.
gotcha, okay,
Now,
okay,
why I use that? From other games I played before, fighting games,
mm-hmm,
it became a habit.
mm-hmm,
For example, like Apex,
okay.
and it became a habit. So I'm trying to figure it out, like stop doing that
Yeah, I mean it's totally
because
fine, right? Like honestly, if it's making sense in your head, in terms of inputs, like I could care less about how you're inputting, right? As long as it's consistent for you, right? The main thing is that as long as you're able to get the moves you want, then
yeah,
you might want to consider another way. But if you've been playing other games like that forever, it's really not a big deal, right? Like especially with hitbox and the way that is and the SOCD stuff, it's pretty straightforward to do what you're talking about, right? Like doing releases and
yeah,
all of that to actually get the inputs. But you're right though, when you look at here, you can see that you hit
yeah. I
the heavy
didn't get the down
punch and you get
input.
the down input on the release, right? So that's probably what that
Yeah,
was. So again, no big deal, right? That's just lab work. Clean that up, no big deal. Then you tried to press another button because you missed. And then I just take my
yeah,
turn back, right? Like, oh, let me just jab into counter here. I don't confirm it. That's is what it is. So we go to throw here. Okay, here's where it starts to get tough, right? I think like
oh yeah,
once you're in this position here, it's difficult to defend, right? Especially because Ken throws you here, right? So what does he do? He does a
yeah,
forward dash, right? Or I do a forward dash. I guess I'm not, whatever. But this situation here allows Ken to be Ken is +1 after the forward dash, right? So this is like
yeah,
not quite a true strike throw mix. Like you can throw me like if I try to throw, you can mash out of it. But if you mash and
yeah,
I jab, you'll get hit, right? So there's like a little bit of a
yeah,
mix up here, right? It's not like a true strike throw in that sense. But if we look right here, so after the forward dash, I actually miss it by a frame, but whatever. So I jab here, you block, right? And then from here,
yeah,
there's like a little mix up, right? Because you get jabbed here, and Ken can kind of just walk up, throw you, or he can continue his jab pressure, right?
yeah.
Right. So in this case, I opt to continue my jab pressure, and I think you're doing like a delay button here. Let's see. Okay. So
Yeah, I tried to delay
you
tech.
tried delay button with a jab.
I think you're looking at
Oh, sorry, that's
your.
me. Yeah, here.
Yeah,
Sorry, my coffee hasn't kicked in yet, apparently. Or it hasn't kicked in
it's
for you.
okay,
It's like
it's okay.
5 a.m. for you, right? But yeah, you delay tech here. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, chat. But you delay tech here, right? So,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
I
fine,
delay tech.
right? Because, like, and if I shimmy you, it loses. That's okay. But I'm just jab string. It's just jab, right? Like, you're defending against the jab and
Yeah,
walk through. So this is fine, right? The issue then is that after the jabs, what happens, right? So I jab, right? Ken's actually -1 now. It's technically your turn here, right? Technically,
yeah.
right?
I thought of doing light punch, which is 5 frames. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is like I didn't know if you're going to, because I saw you shimming.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to try to bait a normal from me and then punish counter me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't throw a single button. The first round, I actually wanted to see like what you're going to do
Mm-hmm.
in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw the crouching medium and the generate loop after, I just got lost
Okay.
ironically.
Yeah, and it's tough here, right? Because like, and we can spend the entire time talking about like this situation right
Yeah.
here, right? Right there, right? After this, what do you do, right? And it really depends, right? This is where it becomes less like sciencey, if you will, and more about kind of feel in terms of what what the other player, like the defending player, is feeling like they want to defend against, and what the offensive player is trying to do, right? So here, it makes sense to just kind of wait and see, right? Because you don't know, right? Like we just started, like if this was a random ranked match or whatever, and Ken just knocked
Yeah.
you down to the light string on you, and then they back up. Now you're like, okay, what do I do here? Right? Even though it's technically your turn, you're totally right. Like this spacing right here would allow Ken to just back up a little. Like if you press crouching medium kick here and Ken backs up, you get whiff punished, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I think here, because of the timing of when I press, if you had pressed at any point after right here, you would have gotten stuffed, right? So if you
Yeah.
hesitated and pressed or like delayed your button after this, it would have gotten stuffed, right? Which is kind of what I was doing, right? So like if you look, right, there's actually a little bit of a gap here, right? Like there's nothing happening for a few frames, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, so for like a third of a second, basically, I'm not doing anything, right? And I'm kind of waiting to see what you want to do when it's your turn, right? So I know a minus after that string. I'm kind of spaced out to where I can't really be punished by any of your lights, right? You'd have to press a medium there in that situation, right? Or a heavy potentially. And I'm kind of waiting to see what you're gonna do here, right? So we're both kind of trying to feel each other out, right?
Yeah.
And since neither of us do anything for what I think is kind of a super long time, because I'm a Ken player and everything has to be pressing buttons all the time, I just go for crouch medium kick, right? So like if you're trying to delay a button or you're a little bit hesitant on pushing or pressing something here, this crouch medium kick would stuff it, right? And you get counter hit.
Yeah.
So of course you block, right? I go drive rush because I have meter to burn. And then here, it's just plus, right? Plus frames on my part, right? Because of the drive rush.
Yeah.
And then you continue to block, which is totally fine, right? Because there's nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I might be threatening a throw here, but you've decided that I might shimmy you, right? So you decided to block, and that's
Yeah,
totally
the problem is like what I told you, like my decision making is bad because like I think of too many things. I don't know why. For
fine.
example, like in that situation, why try to do sweep?
Mm-hmm.
Is because I thought okay, I saw you do crouching medium once. I
Mm-hmm.
expected you to either do standing heavy punch or
Mm-hmm.
crouching medium. In
Mm-hmm.
both situations, we trade. We trade, and I or you recover in the same time, depending on the situation, depending on the button you pressed.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, so if we trade in that situation, I may uh, get a store and get a string, and I can get out of the corner.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I don't really why I wanted to do that, why I opted for that instead of like any other thing, is because like okay, so if I try to drive rush, he can check me.
Mm-hmm.
If I try to jump, he can DP me.
Mm-hmm.
If I try to just walk, I may get clipped by a crouching medium.
Mm-hmm.
I either gamble or I lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah,
thing. Like
and that's what makes it really tough, especially at a higher level, right? Like we're normally we're on 1600, right? So like
yeah,
at this level, most people can DP you pretty consistently, right? Like I may not be
yeah,
able to do it because I'm me who I am. I'm not always gonna, but most people will be able to DP, right? Or check drive rush, right? If you
yeah,
tried from that situation to drive rush or jump, you'd potentially get checked, right? Especially because we're both a neutral here, right? So you went for a sweep,
yeah,
which I think was fine, right? You're trying to call out backwards movement. The issue is that I was spaced out too far after this button here, right? So we're 0 at this point, right? Because Ken's crouching medium punch is actually 0 on block. So what happens is after the space out, like you can see, I just back up a little bit, right?
yeah,
And then that's when I see the sweep and I press my button, right?
yeah,
So it's tough because in the corner, especially since you can't adjust space anymore, you typically have to fight your way out playing neutral, right? So that means you have to try to get into my space to press buttons, and that's really hard to do, right? If you do any other option like jump or drive rush or dash, stuff like that, you're risking getting checked, like you said, right? The
yeah,
unfortunate answer, I think, and this is something that I struggle with myself, is that you just have to be able to play neutral in that scenario, right? You kind of you want to try to lower your own risk as much as possible. Maybe don't go for a home run here, because if you land the sweep, best case scenario, land the sweep, you jump over me, now I'm in the corner, right? Like that's like best case scenario, right?
I think is like the sweep isn't even safe. The reason why I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
is because like after a knockdown, I can do light story into medium punch, and it's a meaty medium punch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wanted to do it, because like in any situation, even if you wake up EXDP, wake up super, and I get hit after that meaty,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with being in the corner. The problem is like I need two stores.
Mm-hmm.
Why I need two stores is in any situation that you block, that two stores makes it so I can do heavy release into light release it okay,
Like
fireball.
the light fireball right after. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and that even if you block, will set us apart from the corner. I'm going to get out of the corner because it's going to push you away to mid
Mm-hmm.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted to gamble for that, and the problem is like I could use EX heavy release and then go into fireball.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is I'm going to burn out, because if I cancel, I lose
Yeah.
one store and I use two for the EX move.
Yeah, 2 bars. Yeah, you'll be very close, right? Like you wouldn't be
Oh
able
no
to
no
drive
no!
rush out.
When Juri does EX releases, and if she wants to cancel from a heavy EX release to a light EX release, she needs to use an additional
Oh, it's the extra
store.
bar. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's
Okay,
why he uses a stock and he uses a bar.
gotcha. Okay, so you would
Yeah,
have burned
I
out
wanted
for
to.
that situation had you done
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's
and
why
yeah.
the sweep seemed logical, because I was scared of either like, okay, you can continue pressuring me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can go into burnout,
Mm-hmm.
or I can catch a random DI and may not react, and I'm instantly dead. So in both scenarios, I'm dead if I
Mm-hmm.
don't react into act into any situation.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think that the other option you could have chosen here instead of the sweep. So if we go through this situation, right? Do
Yeah.
this, right? I spend some bar for pressure. You could have just walked forward, right? So what happens if you walk forward here, right? And this is kind of an interesting thing, and I've been trying to do this more and more in my games, is that if I walk forward, if you had decided to walk forward from here, right?
Yeah.
You'd get a sense of what I, as the opponent, how I'd react to that, right? So if you walk,
Yeah.
because there's like from right here, this space, right? Stand heavy kick might reach you. It'd probably be at the tip, whatever. But you have to remember that it's like a 12 frame startup move and like a 5 frame on block, right? So I'm not really going to press that necessarily unless I feel like I can do it and get away with it, right? But you just
Yeah.
gotten up from here, right? So if you had just walked forward, you can actually see what I, as the Ken player, end up doing, right? Like when you walk
Yeah.
forward, what does Juzzy do? Does he try to press a button to stop you from walking forward? Does he back up in this situation because he has so much space to work with, right? Like if you look
Yeah.
at my meter situation versus your meter
Yeah.
situation, I'm behind, right? So I can't really
Yeah.
extend my pressure anymore for free, right? I'd have to burn out if I wanted to use drive rush, obviously. So I'm like, in my head, at least me as a player, I'm thinking that I need to be a little bit more conservative with my pressure here because I don't have enough bar to extend. And if I do extend, I can't kill you from there, right? So like
Yeah.
burning out, even if I've cornered you, if I burn out, that's terrible, right? So something to consider in these situations here when there's a little bit of space, right? You don't necessarily have to go for a button. You could just walk up and see what I do, right? And then that knowledge or that kind of check to see what I do is how you can kind of fight your way out of the corner the next time this happens, if it does, right? Because like if you see that every time I'm in this situation or we're in this situation and you walk forward and I just back up, right? Now you have space to work with, right? Like if you had half a character to a full character space here, that's enough space to be able to bait something or whiff punish, right? And if you see me actually just pressing buttons instead, right? You'd have to walk to about here before you'd be hit by like
Yeah.
a crouching medium kick, or a crouching medium could be about here, I think. But like here would be crouching medium punch, right? Stand heavy punch would be about here.
Yeah.
But then you could have an idea, right? But in this case, you still have enough space to walk into and out of my button range to see what I would do, right? And that's where that neutral game, like kind of deep corner defense comes into play, right? Because we're not playing. There's no Oki anymore, right? Like there's no guess situation.
Yeah.
Instead, you're trying to play neutral with limited space, right? And because you can't back up anymore to adjust your spacing, something you can do is walk forward to put pressure on me, right? In
Yeah.
terms of that space, right? And then force me to do something. So cool. So we'll go forward from there. So you end up missing the sweep, get punish counter for it, no big deal, right? Dash forward. So I think you were trying to, what were we doing there?
Okay, now, okay, so that was a risky move. Again, a gamble. I don't know why. I take a lot of like high risk, high reward situations.
Hmm.
Like I don't know why. I need to stop doing that. I thought you were going to go for a
For
throw
throw,
loop.
yeah.
Now the
Backdash,
thing is like
yeah.
X. If I neutral jumped or forward jumped, I think you would have EXDP. Like no, the thing is like it would just enter me.
Yeah, or you would have gotten clipped. So it
Yeah.
would have got, since this is meaty, I think, if we look, right? Well, not quite meaty. You're actually in the middle of your backdash here. So I wasn't fully meaty. So if you had jumped, I probably would have been able to anti-air with like a DP, right? So I would have been able
Yeah.
to cross-cut. If I was truly meaty, like if this was a setup, I didn't have a setup, obviously, right? So that's why I did what I did here.
Yeah.
But if I did meaty you, if it was a true meaty there, then it would have caught your jump, right? Like your jump and your backdash. So the backdash hard read I think is it can be good if you do hard read throw. I think it's slightly better mid screen though for those because you gain some space back. Because even if you had backdash and I threw here, I think it's not plus enough for you to get a punish sometimes, depending on the timing of the throw.
Well, the thing is,
So
like, if you went for a throw, I would have gotten a full-on punish
in this
counter
situation, I
combo.
think so, right? Because I was not truly
Yeah.
meaty on the. It would not have been truly meaty on the throw, right? So
Not only that, but the thing is, like, my medium punch is 6 frames, and the thing is, like, with Juri's medium punch,
mhm.
I think if you whiff the throw, I can do standing medium punch, and I'm plus 11 after the punish
Oh,
counter.
okay.
Yeah, which
On the hit, you mean? Yeah, okay, gotcha.
yeah, yeah, on hit.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be on hit.
yeah.
So that I easily gain. I can do standing heavy punch to link it, and then go for either a level 1 to put you in the other corner, or try to go full on cash out, gain level 2, and
Hmm.
then try to mix you up.
Hmm. Hmm.
That
So
was the thing that I was thinking of.
yeah, I don't mind the defensive decision to backdash. It's just difficult in that situation because I haven't really been throwing you as much yet, right?
Yeah,
So you're kind of guessing that I would go for throw there, and I haven't really done it yet. So again, tough to defend. I think like blocking or delay teching or maybe delay button probably be okay, right?
yeah,
But again, like you made a decision and it just happened to be wrong. That's Street Fighter though. And again, it's because I'm going for light pressure here.
yeah,
It's kind of tough, right? Like if I had gone for like a heavier button or something, and I was late on it, like I was here, potentially your backdash finishes and then my button goes off, right? Like there, that could
yeah.
happen too. Like I'm super late or something like that. So I don't mind the decision, right? It's just that it got beat by the quote unquote meaty light, right? That's just what it is. And then I think here maybe you're trying to jump because I was just doing
I
this kind
did.
of light string, right? So yeah,
No, I think you just clipped me after I tried to backdash, right? Yeah.
yeah. I had just clipped you on the backdash and hit you with the DP here, and then this
Oh, I did
one,
try to jump.
yeah, this one you try to jump, I think. So I dashed up and I try to time a jab, and it catches you doing something here, trying to jump maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm getting out of this is that I shouldn't go gambling.
Yeah, I let's see the final thing here. All right, go for a jump, and then driver
Yeah,
throw. Get
okay,
some
so I
kills.
tried to parry because I just felt unsafe,
Hmm.
and yeah, that felt okay. Even though, like, of course, you just grabbed me to death and I died.
Yeah.
I was just again gambling that I'm going to get a perfect parry and then swap places
Hmm.
with the back throw.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Yeah, and something that I think might be relevant to you here is that if we consider those defensive options like that you were doing in the corner, like in a vacuum, right? I don't think there was any particularly wrong decision you made in terms of like, oh, this was a huge risk or whatever, right? Like backdashing can be kind of a risk, but I didn't really have a setup there, so I don't think it was like the worst thing in the world to try. But what ends up happening, I think, is that as you make more and more decisions and as they end up kind of being you get hit for them, it becomes harder and harder to be decisive, right? So then you kind of went for like a quote unquote safer option, and that's when I decided to mix up and go for drive rush throw instead, right? Because you've been blocking for like the last 6 or 7 interactions we had.
Yeah.
So we can talk about some of the like how I do defensive decision making. Let's see if something comes up like that. I think there's a situation where you have me cornered, so let's take a look here.
Mm.
Okay, playing footsie's the game. Get clipped. think that was just you were pressing after the Fuha, right? Is that what happened?
No, I think I didn't. No, did I press light kick? There's a chance I pressed light kick.
Yeah,
No,
right
yeah,
there.
I pressed light kick.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and they got clipped. Yeah, because there was a counter hit, right? So, I know that Fuha is minus, right? So I just went for it. Normally people block this, or if you try to go for something cheeky, it'll clip you.
The thing is
But
like Fuka is minus, but the thing is like it's not punishable. It's safe even though
yeah,
it's
yeah,
minus.
yeah. So that's why if I try to go for like unless I parry the Fuha, right? If I parry the string into Fuha, then I might be close enough for a jab potentially.
No, you can perfect parry the medium to heavy, but you
Yeah.
cannot. It's the same. Now, what you can do is stand block. If you stand block, the Fuka whiffs, and then you can punish me.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Because that'll the pushback on stand will be further, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gotcha. So at any rate, you take it, and then we go for the setup here, and then you go for a DP, right? So I think this was good actually. I was not expecting a reversal at all. Even it's the first interaction of this particular round. Although I think in your head you've been thinking that this asshole has been pressuring me for the last 60 seconds or so, so I'm gonna reversal. But
Yeah, the thing is like,
yeah,
in my mind, I was like, okay, so I didn't try to do reversal once. I didn't do even the driver reversal. So chances of you trying to shimmy and predict it are near zero.
yeah.
So that's why I went for it.
It's a very hard read on my part as the offensive player to go for a shimmy this in that situation, right? Like most
Yeah.
people will just block, right? So I go for it there. Again, I get DP'd. I get, you push me off you, no big deal, right? So you get some space back, right? And then that whiffs, and then you get a throw, right?
Yeah.
So that was
Okay.
supposed to be a wake up D-Rev. That's on me. I don't know why that worked though. Not
Now
sure if
look, so you see, I tried to react
Yeah.
to the DI. Yeah. And I think I missed on the timing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
I
hit
wasn't I
in the last
wasn't
second.
and I wasn't putting the right input for D-Rev, so I don't know why it's back. It should be forward, but whatever. Anyway, comes off and
Yeah.
then missed it. No big deal.
Yeah, I pressed it late. I mistimed it. Yeah.
Spaghetti happens. All right, so D-Rev there. Kind of an interesting decision, I think. If you look at the meter situation coming into that.
Yeah, you would have burned me out. That's why I
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's what I was gonna say. I think it's fine. Burn out on your own terms, I suppose. If I had blocked, I think like if I tried to bait it with something, it would have been bad because we're both pretty low on meter here, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I think if you had got like going for it there, I don't hate it. I suppose worked out. It's a decent hedge too. It's just that it's tough to deal with this, right? Potentially here, which you could have done if you wanted to reversal, was you could have level one. Right, so super here, right? Will allow you to
okay.
preserve a meter.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
The thing is, like with level one, it's sometimes really weird. Not downplaying, not anything, but like if you sometimes level one whiffs, even of close opponents. Now
really?
in that situation, it would have hit.
Yeah.
But if you, for example, thought, okay, I'm going to, okay, so funny thing is, if you neutral jumped there, you would have beaten my EXDP, my reversal, and my level one.
Yeah, if I could have, right? I think what
Yeah,
the issue here is that it's not a drive rush, it's a run stop, right? So even after this situation here, if I did a run stop, I would be actually, I don't think I'm plus enough to jump here. Because
Okay,
there's a
so-
little bit of a delay on Ken's run here.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
fair.
not 100% sure because this is a wake up situation. I just kind of went for this
Yeah.
as like I'm gonna try to, try to burn you out, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But yeah, like if you're considering the options that I could do out of this, then yeah, you would have like a neutral jump would have beaten those options. But if you think I'm gonna go for a meat to try to burn you out here, right? Then level one probably would have made sense, right? It's just
Yeah.
that if we're trying to think in terms of what the next layer or layer underneath is gonna be, I think it's okay to think about that. But at the same time, if you go too far into what you think I'm going to do versus what I've shown you I can do, that's when you get into situations where it's like, oh, I made a decision that would beat him if he's thinking 3 layers deep. But me as a kind of player,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna overhead you here, right? Like I'm gonna go for an overhead, right? So like,
Okay, fair.
yeah. So and I guess what I'm getting at is that sometimes like I know, as we get higher, as we become higher level players, we kind of want to establish that we are thinking about all the potential situations that are happening. But you have to remember that like most of those situations aren't going to happen, right? You have to really be deep in the rabbit hole, deep in the set, or something else like that in order for those things to become kind of relevant, right? Like what I think
Yeah.
is like just beat what they've tried to show you so far, right? Like if I haven't shown you run stop and neutral jump yet, like there's no reason to consider that I would do that yet, right? Especially again looking at like higher ranked players, like higher level players, they don't take a lot of risk, right? Like most Kens when you
Yeah.
play them at like 1600 plus, you don't do all the dragon lashes and the crazy raw drive rushes and stuff. For the most part, they're just applying safe pressure when they knock you down, right? And forcing plus frames, right? By pressing
Yeah.
button, trying to frame trap you when they have plus frames. They don't really go for these like crazy home run buttons all the time necessarily. So if you'd consider like this Ken is just gonna come up and do something probably to try to burn me out, what would they do? They'd probably do some sort of run overhead or some sort of button into Jinrai, right? Or something like that, some block string potentially. In that case, level one would have worked fine, right? Or I could have tried to throw you. Level one would have beat that too, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I think like if you're trying to think too far down and trying to beat what they think they're going to try to beat from you, that's when you get stuck in this like, oh, I'm always feel like I'm taking this high risk, high reward options because I'm like trying to beat 17 different things. When in reality, they just are going to do the simplest possible thing they can do, right? Like sometimes that's what ends
Okay.
up
Okay.
happening.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
yeah. So again, I think like in this situation, if we take it from what you were talking about, I think what you're the reason why you made the decision makes a lot of sense to me, right? Like you're beating multiple options from me if I come in. But the thing is, you're gonna burn out, right? And that's kind of what
Yeah.
makes it difficult to come back, especially from this situation, right? You're like Half Life,
Yeah.
burned out. We have full meter, right? Full super meter,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's difficult to try to come back from here, right? So again, level
Also,
one
I
to preserve meter
thought.
might have made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to maybe even do the run kick. I
Yeah.
forgot. Is it medium kick?
It's like the
I
heavy.
think.
Yeah, you just like the step
Yeah.
kick. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that that's like even drivers cancelable, special cancelable. I think I'm not sure.
It's super cancelable, but I don't think
I know
you're
you
gonna
can cancel
react
it in
to it.
the DI. Like you can react to it.
I don't know how
That's a,
reactable it is in terms of like mashing out of it. I think the step kick might only be super cancelable, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check actually, but I'm pretty sure it can't DI out of that. It's usually a super that people do on step kick. So let me just make sure I'm not lying to you or chat for that.
we're thinking about the same. I'm not thinking about the overhead. I'm thinking about like the mid kick where you
Yeah,
run and then
yeah. So
yeah,
both
okay,
of
okay.
the the overhead is only level 3 cancelable, and the step kick is super cancelable. So I can't DI or anything
Uh-huh.
like that. It's only level 1, level 2, level 3.
Okay, okay, okay.
Also, the confirm window for both of those is 16 frames for the overhead and 15 frames for the step kick. So it's not really confirmable that way.
Okay,
Maybe if I
okay.
do it into a DI or something, like there's enough time, maybe. But like realistically speaking, at least me, old man reactions, not gonna I'm not gonna react to that, right? So all right, guys, go for a jump. It's totally fine. So here you have to deal with Jinrai pressure.
Okay, like example, I could have whip punished that and killed you, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, right here. That throw. Could have went into
It
like
was too late. It was. I think it was before that.
let's see.
Like when you whiffed a button. I think it was after the jump in.
So here, so with the throw,
Yeah.
with that, that right there was the other whiff, and then a jump.
Mm.
So I think like your best chance up until this point might have been to whiff punish into level like stand heavy kick into level 3 or stand heavy punch I think is whatever it is into level 3 potentially from there if you
Yeah.
are ready because you don't have drive right so you're just gonna go into
Yeah.
super I think and that would have been fine right that would have probably killed me at best at worst you deal some damage get your drive back and I'll be like one hit away and burned out right so
Yeah.
good position there.
I think I could have level 2'd you into burnout ring. I think.
I don't know.
The problem is
So
like.
yeah, I don't know about Jury's stream there in burnout though, right? Because if you don't have drive to extend, maybe it doesn't matter. But
No, no, like if I do like you had like 1.5 bar. If I did level 2,
mhm,
like and then did the level 2 dash, that
mhm,
takes away one whole bar.
mhm,
I think I maybe could have done a string in a heavy release for a save jump and then
mhm,
burned you out with a save jump.
mhm.
But yeah, it's an if statement. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it might have been a different decision to make right now. How would it make a difference in the game potentially? Because if I'm burned out, then maybe you have a better chance of getting back into it. But the way that the game plays out here is that you try to go for some sort of jump in, maybe to try to start level 2, or maybe to just knock me down, or even go into super potentially, right? But you're trying to get
Yeah.
in on me And I'm trying to keep you out and get some bar back, right? That's basically in my mind what I'm doing here. So that's why I'm like kind of applying a little bit of pressure with stand heavy punches and this Jinrai kick here, right? Like over walk through. Now, if you were ready and you could have really, you probably could have killed me from here, right? For
Yeah.
stand heavy punch level 3, it probably kills me here. But you have to be ready for it, and it's like, hard to always be ready like that. No big deal. So we continue trying to get out of burnout, right? Pressing buttons makes sense. Missed the anti-air, no big deal.
Okay, okay. Now, I have no excuse for that.
Okay.
I don't know if I was if I tried to throw or a neutral jump or like what the fuck I was doing.
It looks
I
like
have
you
no
were
idea.
trying to delay tech potentially, right? But the jump is what came out instead. Again, not a big deal. I mean, it gets you out of the situation, right? For a second, I thought
Yeah,
you were
but
trying to
what's
go
the
for instant
core?
overhead, and I was like, huh. Well, I don't know why a kick came out, but okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what I was doing
Yeah.
there. I think maybe I tried to delay tech. I don't know how you got to jump. I don't know why I jumped.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because that's what came out is this, right? So, and that's why you got the
yeah,
jump light kick as it came out, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll walk forward and continue. So you can see that I basically, we walked forward, and your jump back kind of hurts you here because you jump back in the corner, but you
yeah,
would have ended up there anyway. Honestly, like I'm kind of pressing forward and trying to get you to go in the corner here, and then here I burn
yeah.
out, which is a mistake on my part, I think, because I had you in the corner. There's no reason for me to extend pressure here. But I can apply some pressure because I'm plus, right? Or because I'm on offense, even though you're burned out, right?
Yeah.
Then you go for a parry, unfortunately. So that's a really tough one. Like trying to parry Jinrai here. If Ken is consistently going for the low, then a parry kind of makes sense. But it's a built-in mix-up, right? So
Yeah.
like you have to deal, and plus in burnout, which you weren't at that point, right? I think. So by then you were out in burnout anymore, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So right there, right? It's actually only -3, right? Normally it's -7, I think, but because you're in burnout, it's -3.
Oh.
But in that situation, it's tough because I hit you right as you got your bar back. So obviously it's hard to know if you can press or not. But it's difficult to guess here because normally even without burnout, it's still -7, but you don't know if he's going to go for the low because it'll frame trap you, right, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And without any meter at that point, anyway, when I went for this, it's hard to have like a foolproof option, right? Because you could EXDP out of this, you could even potentially super out of it, right? Not in this situation though because of the burnout, but like if it was -7, you could have. So unfortunately, I think you just have to hold this right here, right? Now you get your bar back here, right? And then you parry immediately, right, to try to get
Okay.
it, and then I walk up throw, right?
A
So
def just my one of my fucking defensive mechanics, like me being I don't know why scared and just praying that you're going to press a button and me getting a perfect parry into a
yeah,
potential rob.
yeah,
I, I
back throw, and then you have meter. I'm burned out in the corner. Go for DI,
yeah,
and that's it, right? So
yeah,
I don't hate the parry decision, right? I think it's actually fine if you think you're going for like if I've been going for strike most of this round, right? Like Beanie strike, and especially after that situation where I didn't do anything, or after the throw here, right? Oh, not stop. Sorry. Well, before that there was a throw, right? A punish counter throw. But before that was the Jinrai where you parried and then you parried assuming I would do the low or something else. You got punish counter
yeah,
thrown. And then it's very difficult to defend the very next mix up after that, right? Because Ken just walks up, you have to guess strike throw, you have to do something. And then you end up just blocking. And because you think you have to do something that, oh, Ken's not going to throw me, he's going to shimmy me because he thinks I'm going to do something, and then I just walk up throw, right? I go for the simplest option, ends up winning there. So I'll say that it's very difficult to defend that last situation. You just have to guess, right? You could DP there, you could level 1, level 3 potentially, right? Because it's, you're going to die otherwise.
yeah,
Again, it's just a matter of like, really just making a defensive decision, right? You know your options, you know what's there. So something I'll mention here, when I am in the corner, let's see, hopefully there'll be a situation extra, but when I'm in the corner, right, and I'm trying to defend against Juri pressure especially, right, because a lot of times Juri, they'll just press a bunch of buttons in your face, right, or they'll do like
yeah,
throw loops with dashes, or kind of set up these sort of tick throw situations. Not quite tick throws, but like jab throw or like those
Yeah,
types of
yeah.
mix-ups. So what I tend to try to do is I try to pay attention to what the opponent is showing me currently, right? So if they're doing a bunch of like jab into like throw, like they knock me down, dash up throw, and they're doing throw loops, then I'll consider delay teching or delayed buttoning to try to beat that, right? So mostly delay tech because I think you can't really shimmy on the forward dash with Juri, right? So as soon as you forward dashes, it's really strike throw. You have to kind of guess there.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe neutral jump, but as soon as she dashes, you have to kind of guess, right? Strike throw. You can, I think, if you back up potentially, right, you could get something out of that. But anyway, I try to just defend against the things that I've seen so far, right? When I pick a defensive option, what I try to think about is what am I okay losing to, right? Like I've decided I'm going to take a throw here. So let me try to beat every other option that's not a throw, however I can, right? Something like that, right? If that makes sense. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of like how else I can describe that, but it's like I've decided
Yeah, I
that
get
it's
it. I get
okay,
it.
right? So
Yeah.
and that simplifies my mental stack as well and allows me to pay attention to like how the opponent is structuring their offense, right? Because a lot of people, like, as quote unquote random as this game is according to a bunch of people
Yeah.
aren't random, right? Like if they run an offense and they do something that works, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna do it again, right? And again and again and again until it stops working, right? And maybe even not even then, right? Like I'm sure you play people who will always do one thing on offense, or they'll always do the same option. Even if you beat them 100 times, they will do it the 101st time, right? So people aren't really that random overall. So you try to beat the options that they're showing you. That's how I look at it. Now, when that gets really hard is when you're playing against something like a Kim or like a Cammy, like high level Kims and Cammies. Dude, I can't, right? Like it's just like they have so many ways to mix you up, even though it all looks the same and kind of has the same look and feel. Like it's hard for me because of the way I apply my defense in that way. It's try to keep track of all of that, right? So a lot of times when I'm playing against characters like that, even against Jury in some cases, I'm just guessing. I'm just like, okay, they've done this the last 1 or 2 times. I'm just gonna EXTP. I'm just gonna reverse
You
it
know
over.
what's funny? For example, for like against Cammy, for me it's a completely different situation because like for Cammy, I know what's coming. Like the
Yeah.
problem is like I know what's coming. I know what she's going to do. The thing is like, um, the problem like from what I'm getting from you is that like I'm trying to think too much of what makes sense to me instead of like what the opponent is doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I need to what you said like try to see what they're doing more instead of like me guessing what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Uh,
like yeah, 100%, 100%. Because like think of it this way, like risk reward on defense is kind of a crappy proposition, right? So when you're on offense and you run an offense and you quote unquote guess correctly, which basically means you're running an offense that they didn't really stop really get hit by something, your reward can be anywhere from like 3,000 to 6,000 damage to killing them outright or whatever, right? There's a huge reward on offense for being quote unquote correct. But on defense, if you're correct, what happens, right? What do you get? You get out of the corner potentially, right? You don't take any damage, right? Like let's say you correct on the forward jump because I went for meaty throw. You still get crosscut DP, just like damage, but you're out of the corner, right? But like that's what I
yeah.
mean is that like doing a hard read on defense doesn't give you the same reward as a hard read on offense, right? Because like a hard read on offense can win you the game. A hard read on defense, I guess, could prevent you from losing the game potentially. But it's very difficult, right, to equate those two things, right? Like winning the game outright and not losing are not the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
fair.
I think that if you decided that you're gonna take slightly less risk on defense, stop trying to guess what I'm gonna do, and just kind of defend against multiple options best you can, I think that will help alleviate some of the mental stack you're feeling because you're like, oh crap, I have to think about the 17 things that are just gonna come in, and then you get kind of you experience paralysis, right? Analysis paralysis, and you just kind of continue blocking, and that's when you get thrown, right? So, okay, good drivers there. All right, let's see. Okay, good perfect parry, but I was able to tech there, right? So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Again, at least you didn't get hit. Or the D-rev there. You get hit because I think I forward dash one too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get checked. Okay.
I could have gotten more damage out of that. I fucked it up.
I think it's okay. If there is a side switch, I don't know if Juri has a side switch there, but
Only off punish counter buffed crouching heavy punch.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I found two.
yeah, yeah.
The thing is, like, I got like, so I got punish like a counter crouching medium punch. I can
Mm-hmm.
link one more
Mm-hmm.
out of that instead
Yeah.
of like driver's canceling. Maybe that would have been a better option.
I think it's
Yeah,
fine. Like, take what you get
yeah.
here. You went for the driver's cancel. It's totally fine here. You get your damage, get your stock, right? Knock down here. I think if you had drive rush here, do you get a setup off of this, like a plus frames?
Okay, so why I don't drive rush there?
Mm-hmm.
I can okay, so I can drive rush for an overhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's too unsafe because
Mm-hmm.
it's still not a quote unquote meaty overhead.
Mm-hmm.
The best option is for me to just dash
Mm-hmm.
because I'm plus. So you see how I'm plus 22.
Yeah.
Even if you back roll, I have three options that beat any of yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The why the crouching medium kick is if you try to do your crouching medium punch or your crouching any button that is like 6 frames.
Yeah.
I will trade and I will be 2 frames plus so I can continue my pressure.
Okay. And that makes sense to me, right? Like, I'm going to go for an option that is mostly safe. If I go for it, it's on
Yeah.
block. At worst, they block it. Whatever, right? It's not a big deal. You get a Fuha stock potentially. Like, if I'm blocking low here, right, this Fuha is going to hit, right? So it's fine,
Yeah.
right? No big deal. Using a driver there, obviously, like you said, it's kind of risky to do on offense, right? You're kind of relying on me not reacting to the overhead or like waking up with
Yeah.
parry or like something else, right? And again, you could have went for it. I think maybe the meter situation right there, maybe that's a little bit tight, right? We're both.
I don't
kinda
like
pretty low.
wasting a lot of. Okay, so the thing is like,
Yeah.
I try to not waste meter because Juri is really meter dependent.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is like, even if I know I need to do that, I still waste it because I don't know why. She gets a lot of like her medium to store buttons
Mm-hmm.
that take a lot of the enemy bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like me wasting 3 bars and then getting 1.5 of my opponents, me getting a store and a corner carry, is worth it somewhat.
I
Uh,
think so the way I think about it is if I'm gonna spend 3 to 4 bars and not burn out and put your opponent in the corner, I think it's worth it a lot of cases because you're increasing your overall chance of winning at that point, right? Because like this game at this level is won and lost in the corner, right? So
Yeah.
if you're putting me in the corner there, your chances of winning go up, even if you're kind of closer to burnout or less. You spent 4 bars, which is a lot,
Yeah.
right? That's more than half your bar. But if you're putting you in a situation where now you get to run your offense, go for knockdowns, and you have Oki situations that you can take advantage of, then I think it's worth it, right? Like you can see when I do it, I spend 3 bars all the time, right? I'm not really
Yeah.
discriminate on when. If I see an opportunity and I have bar, I'll do it, right? Like it's not. I don't think too hard about trying to save too much because Ken, and it might be a character thing, because Ken isn't super dependent on bar once you're in the corner, but he does need bar to get you there, right? So that's where it ends up being prioritized.
Yeah.
So. No big deal. So walk up throw because you're kind of scared to press after that because you've been hit, right? You got hit the last 2 times, right? So I'm like, okay, they're not going to press here. I'm just going to walk up, right? So that's just an adjustment that I made based on what I was seeing from you, right? So just to keep that in mind, like these little micro adjustments that are happening in neutral, like that's where that came from. Like I would not be able to walk up throw you normally, right? Like it doesn't work. But after our game, this is game 3, by the way, right? So after 2 games of you getting counter hit
Yeah.
after your Fuha, you just don't press anymore, right? So I just walk up throw. All right. All right, you go for a block string, a neutral jump, and then you went for a parry there, right? So I think that's fine, right? If I'd come down with a button, potentially a perfect parry me there. My mistake here is I burn out.
Again, like what I told you, I need to start getting my DPs consistently.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, and that's just lab work, right?
Parry.
Not too worried
Yeah.
about that. So looking back, let's see. So you do get the DI here, so this is good. Burn out for it, no big deal, right? I mean,
I
we're
saw
both
you
burnt out.
dragon. I saw you dragon lash, and
Yeah.
if you dragon lash, that was minus, and you get a burnout. So that was the best option.
Yeah, and this is 100% textbook. I think you saw Dragon Lash coming right on knockdown. You go for DI,
Yeah.
even though you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out anyway, right? So you might as well get a punish.
Yeah.
Out, right? Makes sense to me. All right. So that's your offense here. I have to hold all of that. Miss it because of the burnout. That's
Yeah.
life. Okay, safe, right?
Okay, I could have gotten a medium store there.
Yeah,
Of a
on
light
the
kick.
right there. Yeah, right.
Yep.
So at this point, we're both trying to play like, conservatively, if you will. Though I mean, I'm obviously trying not to get clipped because I could die, right? But the meter situation, we're almost back in meter, right? So, right, and then I bait the D rev here. Actually, so what actually happened here is I tried to shimmy. Right, so here, right, you go for. It looks like you try to do like a delayed parry of some kind potentially, right? And
The thing is,
then
like, okay, so I just try to tap parry because, like, usually when you do Drummers medium or a heavy, you go into Jinrai,
yeah,
or light or medium, and the first hit is really easy to perfect parry if I tap it
yeah.
by feel.
Yeah,
That's why I went for it.
you're like, okay, well, if and then again, it's because it didn't go for it, it didn't come out, so it's totally fine,
Yeah,
right? So no big deal there. That's good. But what ends up happening here is I'm trying to shimmy you, right? So you see, I'm just backing up here.
yeah,
So the shimmy here, the reason I ended up doing this is I'm +4 after that drive rush punch, right? If you
yeah,
DP me here, I'm dead, right? Like you can just
yes,
EXDP or level 1 or any option there. So even though I go for D-Rev here, I'm really trying to stop you from reversaling me, right? So I'm just like, okay, they're gonna try. I feel like they're gonna try to do something here, and it also beats delay tech, right? So if I shimmied, it beats your delay tech. It also beats your it beats
yeah,
like your reversal options, right? So that's why I did that.
yeah,
Now it's difficult to defend against this because I have +4, and you don't know if I'm going to continue pressure. Like you can't mash, right? Because if you
yeah,
mash, you're gonna get hit by the frame trap potentially, right? So your options really become like you have to guess, throw or shimmy, right? Like I could throw you here after that since it's a +4, and I think I'm close enough where that's going to be a throw, right? And then Direva beat that though, right? So if I continued my pressure with a frame trap, or if I had gone for like a throw, the reversal here beats that, right? So any reversal, right? Not just Drev, but like level 1, EXTP, whatever, right? So I had decided at that point that I'm gonna go for a shimmy here, because at worst, like the safest thing that you would probably do here would be like a delay jab, right?
yeah,
Right, delay tech or delay jab. Now delay tech obviously will lose, but if you do a delay jab, you'll catch me walking back at that point with like a low, like your crouching
yeah.
light punch or crouching light kick potentially, and then that's the end of my pressure, right? You basically
Yeah.
stopped it with your light, and now you kind of go back to neutral, right? So
Not gonna lie, I was thinking you were going to press. I
mhm.
felt like you confirmed your pressure every single time. That's why I tried to reversal it. I didn't wanna EXD pit because I felt like maybe, just maybe there was a shimming coming, so you could only medium punch me. Okay, so now the funniest situation of all. I was like, no way he will shimmy twice
Second
in a
time.
row. Yes. And I was
Yeah.
like, no way he will shimmy again.
Yeah. So
That's why.
again, it was the same decision I made the previous interaction where I'm not going to lose to a wake up reversal or a throw, right? Because again, right here, and this is actually my mistake. I should have confirmed that. I should have cashed out here, because this kills you
Yeah.
if I cash out, right? So something I need to work on. But right here, I'm like, if I consider this is pretty much the exact same situation we were in, like just a second ago, right?
Yeah.
So like here, plus frames, you reversaled, right?
Yeah.
All right, plus frames, you reversaled, right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So
but yeah, it's because again, I'm trying to mitigate me losing to a wake up option here, right? Like if you did nothing, or again delay jab or some option like that, or just continued blocking, right? Like I said, do nothing, we go back to neutral, right? So like, is that going to be a win or a loss? I don't know, right? Because we're going to be playing neutral again, so it could be anyone's game. But I'm not going
yeah.
to lose if I do that. I'm not lose. I'm decided that I'm not going to lose to a wake up option, basically, right? Because I could have just as easily went for a throw, right? Because the throw would
Yeah.
probably kill you from that situation, right? So
Yes.
I could have went for a throw if you were trying to be passive or do nothing, or if you had like woken up with like a button or something, right? That could have beaten it. But yeah, I basically took as little risk as possible as I could in those two scenarios because I'm gonna die, right? Like anything you
Yes.
do, right, that I go for a high risk option, I'm gonna die here, right? So is what it is.
Yeah, that was either me like panicking. The thing is like, I thought, okay, so in my mind you were thinking this. Okay, so I shimmied him. He now has two options to either reversal or maybe die. And I was like, I was thinking, you were thinking again, like 7 layers of
Yeah,
random
yeah, yeah.
bullshit. Me think overthinking it. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought you thought that like I'm too scared to do it again, so you're going to press, and that's why I did it. And in
And-
the end, you
And then I ended up doing the
shimmied
same.
again,
I shimmied
yeah.
again, right? And it's tough, right? Because the same situation had happened in game one, where you were in the corner a throw away from death, and then I just walked up and threw you, right? You're like, there's no
Yeah.
way he throws again, and then he threw again, right? And the same thing happened here. There's no way he shimmies again, and he shimmied again, right? But part of that is just me, and that's just me, Juzzy the player, playing by feel, right? I'm just like, I don't think they're expecting me to do this thing. And that's really the end of where I think, right? For better or worse, right? I'm like, I'm not thinking about I'm not necessarily thinking about like how far down the rabbit hole and the layers that they're going for. Usually when I'm on offense, and I'll talk about this here, I guess. When I'm offense, I'm just trying to consider what options they think I'm going to do and just do the opposite of that, basically, right? So like in that previous
that is-
scenario, it's like, oh, well, the last time this happened, he threw me, right? Or he did some sort of meaty option, right? So the last thing you were expecting was for me to shimmy again, so I shimmied again, right? Or at least that's my thought process when it comes to offense. And again, it might be a layer underneath, like the layer 2 or whatever you want to call it, or like the next level. But I'm typically not trying to outthink you multiple ways, right? Like I'm not trying to do that. And maybe that's why I'm where I am, like in terms of like my skill level. But I feel like trying to do more ends up costing me games because I don't do anything eventually, right? So, we talked about that. But again, my application of how I run my defense is the same thing for offense, right? Except on defense, I'm just trying to guess to get out of it. On offense, I'm trying to guess what you don't think I'm gonna do, and that ends up being it. So, and tough to defend though, right? Like even if I was in that same situation, I probably would get hit too, or I'd probably DP actually, because I haven't reversed. I did the derev. Again, if I was on defense, I'd be like, oh, they're not expecting me to reversal again, and then I'd get beat by the shimmy too. So I'm not mad at that decision. It just, I have them lose, right? So, all right, driver's jab, counter hits. All right, press against that. All right, get caught jumping.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just my bad decision making. Again, I think I was scared of a throw. I'm too scared of throws.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It's tough. It's a tough proposition, right? Like Ken has a throw loop, right? So if you get thrown, you take the quote unquote take the throw. You put yourself in the same position to take another throw, right? And it's hard to come to terms with that. So
I think Zane gave me PTSD because I think he like a couple of months ago he played Luke and it just threw me to death.
And that'll happen, right? Like if you look at, I think Flash clipped it the other day. You can see it, right? I did that to, I think it was SPD. I just threw them like 5 times or whoever it was, right? And it's like, it's so hard to not tech, right? It's so hard to like, or even decide to make a decision to tech. But I think that sometimes you just have to make that decision, right? Like taking the throw is typically the safer option. But if I just take what you're giving me, you never tech, right? Then I don't have to think about not throwing, right?
Yeah.
So, and you do end up teching actually throughout the rest of this game. I think you start teching more, right? So
Yeah, because you did the same thing.
yeah, right. Because I kept doing that over and over again. Just like, oh, I got to counter that eventually, right? So, yep. So that was actually a good parry there. I don't know if you recognize that this string that I've been doing to you here, it's not real, right?
Yeah. The
minus
thing
2,
is, like,
so-
I know it's safe. If I try to DP, like, there's a 50-50 chance you're either going to block it or I'm going to clip the next jab.
Yeah. I could like delay this a little bit to see if you'll DP right or something like that. But this is a fine option.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it like, okay, so I'm half HP. If I try to take that risk, you get a full cash out, you have level 3, I'm dead.
Yeah, in this situation, 100%, right? Like you're dead or pretty close to it. I think I can't quite kill you. Yeah, I can't quite kill you, but I'd probably take one mix up off. Like I'd take one punish off you, right? So 3,000 damage punish, and then now you're definitely in range to get killed, right? So
Yeah.
go for sweep. That's how we don't punish it, right? Put myself in the corner because that was dumb. But anyway, nice anti-air there, right? So you see how that makes a huge difference, right? Keeps me in the corner, right? You don't have to worry about a parry mix-up anymore. You just anti-air me. Good. Good press. So I'm trying to fight my way out here, right? So here's, we'll talk about how, like, now you have me in the corner, right? So let's see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing some pressure here, right? You have me in a situation where you're a little bit close, but I think it's okay. I try to jump. You're able to meet me in the air, right?
Okay, so why I jumped, it generally, it may seem like a dumb choice. The thing is, like, Juri's DP doesn't go 90 degrees most of the time.
It goes like,
So it would go through you,
yeah.
and my crouching heavy punch cannot clip you. So that was the best option. Now, I could have done jumping medium punch and then cancel into dive kick. That was a much better option. Now that I see it.
Yeah, yeah, and like those little optimizations, I think will just, it's just a matter of like being ready for it. But this is totally fine too, right? Like think of the result is that I'm still in the corner. You did some damage to me, whatever, but this is the situation that you want. I'm still in the corner, right? So you apply some pressure here. I press. Doesn't make sense for me to press, but I try it and I get hit, right? And then again, right? I try to press, or what I do here, try to parry potentially or something, but I got counter hit. So again,
That was the same jump.
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All right. So then I try to delay jab here, and you just clip me, right?
Yeah. After a knockdown with the EX Fireball, 2 medium punches, the second one is auto time, there's a meaty.
Okay. So I tried to delay jab and the meaty beat it, right? So either I mistimed it, I mistimed my delay jab because if I delayed it properly, I would have been able to block. So I probably mistimed it. No big deal, right? I got hit, and then I try to parry through this. Try to take my turn back aggressively. Aggressive option here, right? So I'll be honest with you. I thought I had more bar after this. I was like, I looked at this, right, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to drive rush after crouching medium kick, and I didn't realize how much bar this block screen took, right? Right, I didn't realize how far down I was here, so that's on me to not recognize that. But I went for an aggressive option, right? Try to drive rush out. So as soon as you back up, I went for a drive rush, right? And then I ended up eating a DI here. And then you reset me and kill me, right? So if you look at the defensive decision making that I was doing there, I was actually a little bit more active in terms of trying to get out of your block strings. It's just that I either missed the timing or didn't guess correctly, right? But in my head, all I was thinking about was waiting for an opportunity for me to try to press a button to get out, right? Like I wasn't really thinking about jumping because you weren't really throwing me, right? And I wasn't really thinking about doing some other like special move option or like DI or something like that because you haven't really presented an opportunity for me to do that, right? So the way I was thinking about your offense here was that basically there's going to be a gap at some point that I could try to take advantage of, right? And the gap that I saw was after the Fuha, right? So I went for it there. I ended up losing because of it, right? Because I burn out and I don't get out of the corner because I eat a DI. But that's in my head how I was trying to defend it, right? I was trying to defend the strike pressure as best I could and look for an opportunity to press a button. Now that's my head. That's how I try to defend things. Other people have different opinions. I think on corner defense, it's very difficult to play corner defense, right? And I'm not trying to think too hard about what options beat other options overall. I'm just trying to isolate the situation to me getting out of the corner, right? My goal in those 10 to 15 seconds is to get out of the corner somehow, whether that be a drive rush into a throw. Maybe it ends up being a jump if you're presenting an offense that allows me to jump. But I did try jumping twice and you stopped me, right? So I'm like, okay, that's clearly not working, right? Or some other option, right? But I think that again, that's where, and again, I still lost, right? Like it's not like I defended that particularly well. I went for an option that I thought I could get out of, right? Because in that situation, if I burn out crouching medium kick, right, but you end up getting back through in the corner, I have a better chance of winning than I do burned out in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, because I was at 2.5 bars at that point. Now, again, I thought I had more bar. It is what it is. But I was, the threat of burnout will eventually force a decision, right? So that's why I did what I did. So, and still very difficult to defend, right? Like, they're not trying to make that sound like I know what I'm doing there. I'm just trying to isolate and reduce the mental stack that's happening, right? Which I think is going to help a lot when you go into those situations. All right. So now you're teching, right? So, you made an adjustment to me throwing you.
That was actually pretty smart. You jabbed the string, even though the thing is like, during that string, I can go for a 3-hit medium store or a 2-hit light store. The light store is fake. People don't jab it.
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah, I think, and it's interesting when I do these and I talk to people about what they're going through, and then I tend to just counter hit jab them a lot. I think I challenge people's strings a lot more than most people do, right? I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing or whatever, but like I try to see if things are real or fake in game, right? I honestly didn't know if that was gonna work or not, but and I can't tell, right? I don't know if you're gonna do the light or medium store, right? So I just go for the jab. It happens to hit, and then I try to confirm, right? Even though it doesn't, I don't actually get it because I missed it, but this is normally a confirm here.
Yeah.
Right, so that's actually +7, right? So I wasn't ready, and I tried to go for the crouch medium kick and I missed it, right? But it is what it is. Okay.
Walk up, grab.
Yep. So tick throw pressure there. You go for delay tech, totally fine. All right, so I try to get sneaky there, a -2, but I walk up with a throw and you delay tech again. I think that's okay too because I'm walking up, no big deal. All right, and then you perfect parry the jump in, but I think I could have teched and I didn't. I think I just tried to block, right? I wasn't really sure. I could have went for a jump.
Oh
maybe,
no,
but...
I know what's next. Oh no.
All right, throw loop there. All right, so now you're throw looping me here, right? So I'm not really.
Yeah.
I tried to tech, it didn't come out.
Oh, it's because it's late. Oh.
Yeah, and then that happens, right? And again, lab work. No big deal.
Okay, that is completely me being an idiot in this situation.
Yeah, I know. I
Because,
know
like,
it feels super bad, right? But it is what it is.
the thing is, like, every single time I do light store, I buffer under quarter circle back. Just because, let's say for a situation I want to do another light store. Let's say it confirms. And I want to pre-buffer the next store so I can get 2 stores and then get a meaty of that. Because it's an auto timer as well. So that happens sometimes. Unfortunately, even if it happens once, it's too much.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
that's just, I think, again, that's just lab work. Getting used to executing that, or potentially changing your execution strategy there. Because if messing up results in a level 3 going off, you might want to rethink how you're inputting that.
Yeah, fair enough.
If there is a better way to do it, right? Now, if that's just the risk you're taking, it is what it is. But consider it, right? Because like in a tournament set, that would definitely cost you, right? Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, in this case, it costs
Maybe
you 4,500 damage, right? So
Yeah. Maybe it's time for me to start inputting shit normally like a human being.
could be. I mean, at least maybe for just this situation in particular, right? Oh, I'm gonna do the 2 lights into a store and buffer behind it. Maybe you input that in particular a certain way, just so that you don't super around it, right? But everything else has been totally fine input wise, right? I haven't seen anything crazy overall, right? So aggressive option here, right? Good check, Mr. Drive Rush.
Okay, a reason why I burned out is because like the option. Okay, so currently options are, I either get more damage, get a health lead, get a store, or I don't do anything. I just get a 1 store, throw a U, and after that, you can do driver's fireball. I cannot do anything. I cannot challenge it. I'm dead. That's why I wasted it.
And I think this is a fine like you're thinking one interaction ahead, right? And you're looking at my bar and what I could do there. I think that's totally fine. I think potentially if you had taken just the damage here, which would just be another crouching, like you said, crouching medium kick or stand kick into Fuha store, right? From here or whatever it is. I'm not quite sure what the combo is, but you end in store, right? So you get 2 button into store. Say you go for the driver's combo, which is fine, right? You get a ton of space back, right? Because you're expecting me to be able to drive rush after like fireball, drive rush, stand heavy punch or something and burn you out, right? But we don't necessarily know that, but if you're planning ahead and if your plan is to, I'm gonna burn out here, take as much damage as I can, and try to win, in that situation, then that's your decision to make, right? I think that's fine. It's just again really really tough when you don't have bar, to get through that, right? And it's also really tough in this situation too, right? I think that, and this is something that I've been pondering, is that this situation is actually slightly harder than full on burnout in terms of like dealing with the mental stack, right? Because here you're so afraid of burning out. You're trying to preserve this little bit of meter, so you're being passive on offense. You're not trying to do too much. Don't want to get block stringed or whatever. Whereas if you're in burnout, you're just thinking about surviving until burnout's done, right? Everything you block, even though it chips you a little bit, you gain more of that meter back, right? So I just think it's interesting to point out is that even if you had just taken the damage here, right, and knocked me down, you're at a little bit over a bar, it's still very difficult to play neutral, right? To get through that. So if it's a conscious decision to burn out there because you think that you have a better chance of winning after this interaction, then I think that's fine. That logic is totally sound to me. All right, so this is still very difficult to come back from. I have basically full bar, right? But we both don't have super, so right, spend some bar there.
Yeah, okay, that was a dumb choice.
Tough fireball, right? That spacing is very difficult to throw a fireball. Right, like from there, stuff. Went for the jump. Couldn't kill you right away, so went for a save, went for a reset. Right, you block it. All right, good DP. All right, you're still teching, which is that's a good tech. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was supposed to be a D-Rev. It didn't come out the way I was hoping it would, but no big deal.
I think I should have done overhead. Yeah, I wanted to jump and then react with the the dive kick.
Yeah, and I would have lost there actually if you had jumped at the moment you wanted to and reacted like if that was a good prediction, yeah, I would have lost that. But yeah, that was supposed to be a D-Rev against the drive rush, right? Like because Juri drive rush is super good, right, in that situation. So D-Rev makes a lot of sense in my mind anyway, because a lot of Juris will do that delayed button out of drive rush, blows up delay tech every time, right? So I'm starting to do that more. Okay, so a little recap. I think when it comes to defense, I think like trying to reduce your mental stack overall in the corner and just trying to defend against things you've seen and isolating the situation down to just getting out of the corner or getting some space back in the corner, I think is going to help a lot, right? Trying to make a hard read on defense is very difficult, right? So just consider defensive options, consider like options that beat multiple offensive options, right? So, just blocking is usually good. Delay teching can be good. And if you think it's strike throw, delay jab, if it's like the jab pressure that I was applying, where it's like the jab is minus, delay jab, that type of thing. Or consider other options like neutral jump, or not neutral, but forward jumping out of the corner, right? Or even like something like a D-Rev, right? So reversaling every so often is not a bad option either, right? Especially, again, if I've been going for meaty strike throw. Now, once I start trying to bait those things, that's when you can change it up and be like, all right, now I'm going to wake up with a low, right? I'm going to walk forward and press a button potentially, or things of that nature. That's when that kind of opens up, right? Is that when I stop doing the initial level of pressure and I start doing other things, that's when you start incorporating like other defensive options to beat those things, right? Like, oh, how do I beat shimmy? All right, just wake up low, right? Okay, now they're going back to meaties because you've been waking up with buttons. All right, now I go back to blocking, delay teching, right? Delay jabbing. So I mean, yeah, again, it's not like most people aren't going to try to guess what you're going to guess on defense. They're just applying an option for the most part, right? So you just got to keep it simple, I think. Other than that, and talking about neutral, I think for the most part you played fine, neutral wise. I don't think there was any like real like, situations where you needed to play super, footsies, if you will. Because when we were playing neutral, it's fireballs and then there's spacing, and then we're both trying to land crouch and medium kicks, right? Or block strings. And I think we're both at a level where, we kind of inherently know how to do that. It's just that something that I'll add to that is that I think what you want to start doing is paying attention to how your opponent reacts when you walk in and out of their space, right? So that defensive situation we were looking at earlier, when you had some space in the corner, not a lot, but some, you could use that to your advantage to try to figure out how I like to play neutral, right? So Does he like to press buttons? Does he like to back up? Like to jump? Throw fireball? Right? Like those types of things. I think that's when the neutral game becomes something you have to pay attention to. Is when all your other options, like, or or you're stuck only playing that option, right? Because you can't jump, you get checked, all that other stuff just taken away from you. Like the best way to try to get out of that corner or even play neutral is to just try to identify what role the other player is playing in that footsie's triangle thing, right? Like is he only going for whiff punishes? Okay, let me try to walk up and button them, right? Or are they only checking what I'm doing by pressing a button when I walk into their space? Oh, let me just try to whiff punish them, right? Like that's when that comes in. So and both of these things I think is going to take a lot of work, right? It's not going to be something you can do in a day, but I think that being conscious about where you can go from there, I think will help a lot, right? If you start going to ranked, or even when you play sets with us or anyone else, like if you start in neutral, paying attention to like how people react to what you do, it goes a long way, right? You'll be able to figure out how to play neutral against these people, and then from there be able to put them in a corner. Because you saw what happened, right? When you had me cornered, I died, right? You were able to apply, run an offense that was very good. You mixed me up appropriately, got a bunch of hits, and then killed me eventually, right? So, so yeah, I think those are. I hope that addresses the two things you were worried about.
Yeah.
So, you got time
The
for
thing
the
is,
first
like,
three? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
mostly I would just the thing that I mostly wanted was just like pinpointing the biggest weaknesses, because like decision making is such a broad like, let's say, thing in this game. So I just wanted to see like smaller things that are kind of influential in that aspect regarding like what I do wrong.
Yeah.
And it kind of made like everything made sense. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah. I think if you wanted to try to pinpoint it like that, I think I would say you're thinking too hard, right? Because because when you dive that deep into what's happening in terms of like mental stack, what ends up happening is you feel like you went for a read that made sense to you, but didn't make sense to your opponent, so they didn't do that, right? So I think that'll help a ton when it comes, because like in terms of defensive options that you were selecting, right? You were delay teching, you were delay jabbing, right? You were trying to jump out, wake up button, right? Like the normal defensive options that people do, you do them, right? And you know how to do them. It's just that you decide to do something that doesn't quite make sense to your opponent, right? And then if they're not doing it, how can you defend against it, right? So, yeah. Yeah, you got time for another first of three? You want to run it back?
Sure.
Okay.
Give me a second. Let me just boot up the game again.
Yeah. I mean, it's no big deal if you don't. Not if you don't have time or whatever. I know it's quite early
No,
for
don't worry.
you.
My sleep schedule is fucked because I'm doing side projects.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
Jeff is there to keep me company.
There you go. Yeah, he doesn't have a very good sleep schedule either.
Putting up.
Yep.
Second. I can see Jeff calling me out in the Twitch chat. Fuck you, Jeff. No.
I think my activity feed doesn't work. I don't know what's going on with this. Hold on. All right, I sent the invite.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, just boot it up.
All right, leave the mics hot. We can joke around.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh, okay. I guess it is working. Sora, you demon. All right, I'll interact with chat just for that because he's in the middle of that. I think he waited. He waited so I can react. What a guy. What a guy. Oh. Woo. Ooh.
oh, nice.
Oh, no confirm.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough to defend, honestly, because
I'll take that.
like I hadn't really been shimmying you yet, so I just waited until I felt like you were gonna go
Yeah.
for a tech. But
I
yeah,
thought that actually looked like a throw, by the way.
yeah.
Like he walked up. I was like so sure that
So
was a
sure,
throw.
right? Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be a me thing or a Ken thing, but people tend to tell me that my shimmy game makes it really look like a throw.
Oh, nice. Nice check.
Oh!
Oh,
Uh-oh.
ooh, nice.
Oh, went for the
perfect.
overhead there. Oh, nice jump. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. That was nice.
Okay, flew.
Yeah, just all the way over. Oh, went for a jump. Okay. Actually, that's not a bad option, actually. I think about it.
Oh, no, he didn't bait. He didn't try to bait Betty.
Oh, no, I'm so mad.
Fair enough.
Ah, let's
Okay.
go. Oh, no, I didn't shimmy. Damn it. Oh, this is tough. Oh,
No, no way, no way.
oh,
Did
that's
that.
unfortunate. That's so unfortunate.
Okay, so now it wasn't me overthinking it because like last like 3 games, you stopped doing Jinrai and then tried to grab me, so I tried to attack it.
Yeah, and honestly, like I think that's fine as an option, right? But yeah, unfortunately, but the DI there was unfortunate. Oh, oh, no confirm. Oh, nice. Oh no, cancel on my part. Oh, nice. Oh, nice, 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 nice. So my parry came out and then nothing happened. Just stuck in recovery. Nice. Nice. Uh-oh. No! Oh. Oh, nice parry.
No way,
Oh!
no way. Robbed.
Well, I have to spend it here, right? I think I need to relive that one more, but I think I could have gotten a level 2 there if I cash out, but I kind of autopiloted on the on that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dropped. Nice. Oh, beat the delay tech.
I could have killed.
Oh, that's
Before
gonna kill
that.
me, right? Oh.
Surely.
Surely. Oh, nice jump. I went for the shimmy because I don't think I could have beaten you otherwise. That was nice, though. But I like the adjustments you're making, though, right? So you're adjusting to what I'm doing and not trying to, like, adjust to something else, right? So that's good.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, Japnu,
You-
thanks for the sub. Distracted me to drop my Tatsu. Oh, nice DP.
Look at him blocking down.
Oh, I drop it again? Oh, come on. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I mistimed
You're
it.
not plus enough.
I mistimed it.
I think I should have just back rolled.
Yeah, if you had back tech, I think it would have been fine. Or I would not have been able to reach it. Ooh.
Ooh, that was Okay, you know what? It's not fair. You actually challenging every of my bullshit strings.
Yeah, every time, dude.
Ooh, nice shimmy.
Oh, okay, whatever. I didn't actually mean to super there, but whatever.
Keep me going full out, okay?
Yeah.
I respect it.
Well, I'll say that decision to super there actually is not a bad one because at least it'll have a...
Okay, okay. That was 5D chess.
Yeah. Oh, you demon. I should have
Fuck
baited it. No, that's correct. I think that's good though. I mean, you're gonna die if I overhead you, right? So.
No, that was supposed to be a reversal there. Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, nice zero. Oh, that was nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, I was expecting That was nice.
Oh, dude, nice. I think I'm dead, right?
Knew it. No, you're not.
Oh,
My
it's
level
close,
doesn't
it's
roll
close.
that much damage. That connects.
Oh, nice. I think I might have tried to tech there or something. That was sick. Yeah, I think it's
okay,
working.
so
So yeah, good.
I expected you to level like EXDP wake up, and that would like my DI would still have the armor. That would tank it, and you would be minus.
Oh, for the yeah the what is it, the DP safe DI?
Yeah.
But oh, that
I
worked.
reacted. I'm not old. I swear to God. I'm 21. Okay, nice to me.
Oh, I dropped it again. Oh, the drops are killing me. Oh, nice.
I need to stop ego checking that.
The drive rush.
Yeah, I had horrible drive. Nice. That is insane.
The bait. That's one of those situations where I take advantage of the young man reactions.
My DPs? Question mark? Where are they?
Dropped. Oh! No!
I didn't expect that hit. I left my... I'm dead. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. The drops. Okay, no.
Yeah, the drops happened. They happened. It's all good. But again, I'm really liking the adjustments you're making on defense. You're reacting to, like, it feels like you're just looking for one layer in, right? Like maybe they'll EXP, maybe not, but it's not like thinking too far ahead. And it's helping you make defensive decisions, right? I feel like you're able to defend a little bit better on these games.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
Ooh. Nice. Okay.
Oh, I pressed it, I swear.
It's okay.
Fuck. No way that combos.
Oh. Ah! Demon. Oh, nice. Nice bait, nice bait. That was sick.
I don't know if the heavy release would kill. I'm playing it safe.
I think it's correct. I'd rather spend and kill and make sure rather than like not spend and potentially lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, nice shimmy. Fair enough.
Again? Oh, backdash. Okay.
No. I learned my lesson.
Oh, nice check.
Throw Lupin,
Throw a loop and...
please.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that was. Okay. Oh, there's the neutral or the empty jump, right?
Damn you, Japno. It's your fault.
Again, just an adjustment I made to seeing how you're anti-airing, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was supposed to be EX store. Oh, nice shimmy. Oh, no, level 3.
Oh, old man. Oh, nice check.
What the? Okay.
Oh. Oh, nice parry, dude.
I think I could have killed.
Oh,
That was level 1.
that should have been level 1, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean,
GG's.
minus the spaghetti at the end, that was pretty good. But I'm pretty sure, at least I would hope that when you were in the defensive positions you were in, you were just trying to defend one or two things, right? Pick one or two things, defend against that. And I thought you did a really good job because I was applying, more offense in these 3 games. I had to apply more offense rather than through these 3 games. Trying to mix you up, right? Once you started defending against the right things and kind of able to stop the offense that I was running, that's when you started losing to the shimmies, right? And that's what it is. I had to adjust to that, but I didn't really shimmy you in the first set we played, right? Because you were thinking maybe a little too far. So anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, like, what I did this set is literally thinking of the game as a set, like a stack. So I was like, okay, so he did this. Chances of that happening again are like this, and this. So I'm just going to do what covers the most amount of options that he did. And that's it.
Yeah, and it
the thing
was
is, like,
a lot better, right? It felt like when I was playing you that you were able to stop a lot of the options that I was playing. Yeah.
the thing is, like, in my mind, still, I still think like I could have done options that cover all of them, but they're mostly unsafe. I think that they wouldn't work, of course. I still think they're maybe better, but of course, there's like them working are like what 50% chances of actually working.
Yeah.
In some situations, so maybe taking less risks. What you say is better. I mean, it worked better.
Yeah. For consistent play and ranked, I think lowering your risk is the way to go. If you want to, I mean, there's a lot of people that play that yellow playstyle, and they do really well, right? Because they're able to make the soul reads, right, and all of that. Or maybe they play, someone like like Snake Eyes or someone else, right, where they live and die by those hard reads, and they're able to do it. And I think that's totally a valid way to play. It's just that when you get into ranked or you're getting these sets, it's really about trying to mitigate risk, right? And I think a lot of times when you do replay review, and this is something I think that people kind of fall into the trap of, if you will. Like, people tell you, oh, review your replays, right? Take a look at what happened and see what you could do different. And I think people get into the mindset of like, I don't know how much, I don't know how many if you play poker at all, but like chasing the rabbit, right? Where it's like
Yeah, yeah.
you folded or whatever, and like, oh, can I see the turn in the river, right? Playing playing Hold'em or whatever. Oh, let me see the rest of the cards, right? Oh, I could have made a different decision. Well, of course you could have because you see the results and you're applying what you could have done, right? But if you think about in that situation, like when you take your later replays and you're like, oh, I could have done X, Y, Z and it would have been better, or I could have done this other thing that would have been crazy. Like you think about how realistic that particular situation would have been. Now, of course, making the hard read, the sick read, or whatever, totally fine, right? Totally valid. And I think doing that is once in a while is the way it is can be really good. But if you're looking to be consistent in ranked and try to you want to lower your overall risk, right? And usually that means, unfortunately, playing safe defensive, like safer, boring defensive options, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, cool, man. Anything else before we wrap up? I think we're otherwise. I think
Nothing
we're
much. Thank you for your time. It
Yeah,
was
man.
actually pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad it helped. I mean, I know you're a high level player. Like you're probably higher MR than me, and at least last season you were, right? So
Okay. Don't judge me. I was 1670 5 days ago. I almost dropped to 1300.
hey,
I lost
honestly,
almost 300 MR. I was
that's
playing. I think I played one day. I was playing 6 hours of ranked and just losing, and I was like, "Nah, I can get it back. I can get it back. I can get it back."
the tilt cue.
And I was,
Yeah.
yeah, till queuing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so fucked.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of it, I think. I mean, the fact that you're able to get back to where you were in 1500, something like that. And I've played you before and you're definitely like a higher level player. So I'm glad that this was helpful for you overall.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of consistency, right? Like if you think about what we did during our sets, right? And if you had applied that to those rank sets or, what you were doing before where you were like, oh, I have to consider that my opponent is like a genius and they're able to know all their options and can do anything at any time. And how do you beat that? Well, that's really hard. But if you consider your opponent as someone, as a human being, that is typically only considering 3 or 4 options at a time, it becomes a little easier, right? And you saw what happened, right? The result of that was, let me just defend whatever Juzzy's doing, and you took 2 games off me, right? Like, it's not like I was trying to lose, right? I'm trying to win also. Besides the spaghetti and some other drops, whatever, let's not talk about that. But, like, defensive decision making wise, I think it was a little more solid overall, right? You're just defending, keeping it simple, no need to do anything crazy, no need to make hard reads overall, right? Like I didn't see any crazy backdashes or anything like that. And when you did reversal, I think it was an appropriate time to do it, right? So pretty good, man. Cool, man. So anything else before we wrap up? I'm just doing the outro. Cool, man. Cool, man. Appreciate it. So I'm just gonna do the outro here. You can hang out on Discord if you want. I'm gonna meet you on the stream so I can just talk, but all good.
Yeah,
So,
I'll hop into newbie.
right, cool.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. So this has been Sit Down and Shut Up with Juzzy. Hopefully that was enlightening for everybody. I think these are starting to run a little bit longer as we get more and more players and there's more to talk about. I might have to change this to be like an hour and a half to 2 hour thing. I do think it's useful for people to have it that long because there's more discussion. Like when I was trying to pigeonhole it to an hour, it kind of gets tough. Anyway. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you liked what you saw, I run these through the FightRise Discord, so there's links below in the description. FightRise.com/Discord. I have a bot that I can do that now, right? Yeah. All right. So I put the links into the chat too. So thank you guys for your messages, your follows and subscriptions and all that stuff. I really do appreciate it, guys. It does help a ton. But yeah, I do these. You can join the FightRise Discord, take a look. There's a channel called Sit Down and Shut Up. You can queue up there. I do typically try to do 1 to 2 of these a week, and you can see my availability during that, so you can sign up for it. So that's great. And if you do want to join the FightRise community, I highly encourage it. They run bi-weekly round robin and Swiss tournaments every Tuesday or every other Tuesday through their One Fight Stand series, right? So it's league separated pools, so they have master and lower ranks, right? So feel free to join that. You get a lot of tournament experience, a lot of fun. They also run community events through their Urge to Fight series, right? So I was on there recently doing their base brawl thing, so you can take a look at their Twitch and take a look at the VOD for that. It was a lot of fun. And if you participate in the community and all that, you could be on stream next too. I'm also part of the Newbie Fight Club, right? So they are a fighting game community for newer players, right? They run lobbies Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A lot of the folks that are in chat are part of that. It's a lot of fun. You get to play a lot of games against a lot of very wide skill range of people, especially on like the newer Wednesday nights when the newer folks show up. It's a good time there. So if you're looking for games, I'm active in both those Discords. So if you want to play me in particular, you can reach out and all that. Otherwise, thank you guys again so much. Appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out. Thanks again, and have a good night.